Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for our webinar today on tips for small business owners during COVID-19. My name is Sue Rogan. I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships with the Cash Campaign of Maryland. For those of you who may not know, CASH stands for Creating Asset Savings and Hope, and we are a nonprofit that works with our partners across the state to provide programs and services that help build the financial well-being of individuals and families in Baltimore and across Maryland. I am really excited today to be joined with Ron Jennings, who is a dear colleague of mine. He is a small business owner of the Jennings Business Group. He's also the executive director of CAFE, which is the Coalition for the Advancement of Financial Education in Montgomery County, Maryland. And he is a wealth of information on helping small business owners be able to thrive during this time. So please keep yourself on mute, and I will be recording this so that we can put it on Cash Academy in a few days. And if you have any questions, please put them in the chat box. We're happy to get to those. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ron to share his screen and be able to start the presentation.
Okay, hello everybody, and thank you, Sue, for that. And greetings everyone. Hope you're all doing well and weathering what's going on out here in these United States. What I first wanted to talk about, just a little announcement. I don't know, maybe many of you have heard it, but the Maryland Health Benefit Exchange has extended for another month the ability to enroll in the health exchange for health insurance. It ended the 15th of this month, but it came out yesterday that it's going to continue on until July 15th. All right, so let's go here. I'm hoping everybody can see. Sue, I need screen sharing.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's all right.
All right, should be good now.
Yes, I am. Okay, thanks so much. Okay, so where we're at, I think, I want to see, oh, my screen here. Okay, 1 second. Can everybody see that? Can you see that pretty good? The Small Business Owners Care Guide?
Yep, looks
for
great.
the CARES Act. Okay. So what I'll do, I'm going to read through this first little bit here, and then I'll go through. There's a lot of information here to click on and look at and discuss within the half hour we have. But there's good information. So if you have any questions, raise your hand and we'll try to answer them. But we only have half an hour to get through this. So the Small Business Owners Guide, also known as the CARES Act, the program is initiatives, the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security CARES Act. It was passed by Congress and is intended to assist small business to implicate, to do whatever they need to have their business going and seeking funds. And I'll talk to you a little bit about that. So the following are questions that might help point out the right directions. So if you need, this is the Paycheck Protection Act. Let me, I think this screen here is in my way. Yeah, okay. So the Paycheck Protection Act is a program that will provide cash flow assistance through 100% federally guaranteed loans to employers who maintain their payroll during this emergency. If employers maintain their payroll, the loans would be forgiving, which would help workers remain employed as well as help affected small businesses and their economy snap back quicker after the crises. The PPP has a host of attractive features, such as forgiveness for up to 8 weeks of payroll based on employee retention and salary levels. There will be no small business administration fees, and at least 6 months of the deferral with maximum deferrals for up to a year. Small business and other eligible entities will be able to apply if they were harmed by the COVID-19 virus between February 15th of this year and June 30th. So the end of this month. So as you can see, it's winding down. This program would be retroactive to February 15th, even if you applied now. And that would be in order to help bring workers who may have already been laid off back onto the payrolls. Loans are going to be available again through June 30th. So what types of businesses and entities are eligible for this type of loan? The business an entity must have been in operation on February 15th, 2020. Small business concerns, as well as any business concerns, such as a 501c3 nonprofit, a 501c19 veterans organizations, or tribal business concerns described in Section 31B, 2C, that has fewer than 500 employees, or the applicable size standard in the number of employees for North American Industrial Classification System industry. Individuals who operate a sole proprietorship or as an independent contractor and eligible for self-employed individuals. So that's somebody like myself. I'm a self-employed individual and have my own practice. So I would be eligible if I had the expenses. Any business concern that employs not more than 500 employees per physical location of the business concern, and that is assigned the NAICS code beginning with 72, for which the affiliation rules are waived. And remember, look at that again, that's 500 employees per physical location. So it's not necessarily the size of the company. The company could be larger, but it's the location. Affiliation rules are also waived for any business concern operating as a franchise that is assigned a franchise identifier code by the administration and the company that receives funding through a small business investment company. What are affiliation rules? So affiliation rules become important when the Small Business Administration is deciding whether a business affiliation precludes them from being considered small. Generally, affiliation exists when one business controls or has the power to control another, or when a third party or parties control or has the power to control both businesses. And there's resources here to look at. I won't go through that now. What types of nonprofits are eligible? As I mentioned earlier, in general, the usual 501c3 and 501c19 nonprofits with 500 employees or fewer. As most nonprofit SBI side standards are based on revenue, not employee number, you have a good chance of getting some help on that. How is the loan size determined? Depending on your business situation, the loan size will be calculated in different ways. The maximum loan size is always $10 million, no matter what the size of the company or anything. That's the maximum you can get. If you were in business February 15, 2019 and June 30th, 2019, the maximum loan is equal to 250% of the average monthly payroll cost. So that's something you'll have to figure out, and your accountant or whoever, between that time frame, the maximum loan has to be 250% of your maximum payroll cost. If your business is a seasonal employer, such as, say, people who do lawns, things like that, the maximum loan is equal to 250% of your average monthly payroll cost between February 15, 2019 and June 30th, 2019. You can also opt to choose March 1st, 2019 as your time period start date. If you are not in business between February 15th and June 30th, your maximum loan is equal to 250% of your average monthly payroll cost between January 1st, 2020 and February 29th, 2020. So basically for approximately 2 months at the beginning of this year. If you took out an economic injury disaster loan between February 15th of this year and June 20th, 30th of this year, you may want to refinance that loan into a PPP loan. You would add the outstanding loan amount to the payroll sum. Now, what costs are eligible for payroll? So costs that are eligible for payroll are compensation, your salaries, wage, commissions, or similar compensation payments of cash, tip, or equivalent. So such as restaurant owners, things like that, people who pay salaries, tips, that type of stuff. Payment for vacations, parental family, medical or sick leave, okay? Allowance for dismissal or separation. If for some reason an employee left the company or you had to dismiss them, things involving your payroll, that will be included also. Just have to look deep into that. Payment required for the provisions of group health care benefits, including insurance premium. That would be a big help to a lot of small business owners who have to pay those premiums. That costs them a lot of money. They're normally usually paying the full premium. So that would be a big help to a lot of owners. Payment of any retirement benefits. And those benefits might include, not so much the Social Security, but anything they provide to help out their employees. So maybe they contribute to an employee benefit, such as a 403B, 401k, things like that. Those type of benefits may possibly be included in that. Payment of state and local tax excess on the compensation of employees. Now, what costs are not eligible for payroll? So the employee owner compensation over $100,000. Okay, so I own a company, any money I make over $100,000 wouldn't be eligible for this benefit. Taxes imposed or withheld under chapters 21, 22, and 24 of the IRS codes. Compensation of employees whose principal place of residence is outside the United States. So if you have somebody who is an employee of yours, but they work in, say, Egypt or Japan or someplace like that, that compensation wouldn't be eligible for this assistance. Qualified sick and family leave for which a credit is allowed under section 7001 and 7003 of the Family First Coronavirus Response Act. What are allowable uses for loan proceeds? Now, this is a big one, I think. So your payroll costs, as I just explained. Costs related to the continuation of group health care benefits during periods of paid sick, medical, and family leave, and insurance premium. And this is a big one, I think, also, because as we know, employees, although they enjoy their jobs, they want their jobs, and they need their jobs, benefits such as medical and things like that are very, very important. And those that are going to lose those benefits, that can become in a crisis situation, okay, for them. So you can also use it for salaries, commissions, and similar compensations. I think I mentioned that. Payments of interest on any mortgage obligation, which shall not include any prepayment of or payment of principal or mortgage obligation. So let's say that, where my business is, I have a brick and mortar location, and I still pay a mortgage on that location. I can use loan payments, this money to help pay the interest on that. Rent, including rent under a lease agreement. You can use it for utilities if you'd like. And interest on any other debt obligations that were incurred before the covered period. What are the loan terms, the interest rates, and the fees? For any amounts not forgiven, the maximum term is 10 years. The maximum interest rate is 4%. And there's zero loan fees. There's zero prepayment fees, and the SBA will establish application fees caps for lenders that charge. Okay, so you're basically giving, here you have a lot of fees that aren't going to be included in this benefit. How is the forgiveness amount calculated? Forgiveness on a covered loan is equal to the sum of the following payroll costs incurred during the covered 8-week period compared to the previous year or time period, proportionate to maintaining employees and wages, and that's excluding compensation, again, as I mentioned above, over $100,000. So payroll costs plus any payment of interest on any covered mortgage obligation, not including any prepayment or payment of principal on a covered mortgage obligation, plus any payment on a covered rent obligation, plus any covered utility payment, okay? That's part of how it's calculated, those sort of numbers. How do I get forgiveness on my loan? You must apply through your lender for forgiveness on your loan. In this application, you must include documentation verifying the number of employees that were on your payroll and the pay rates, including the IRS payroll tax filing and state income, payroll, and unemployment insurance filings. So you're definitely going to have all your documents. Documentation verifying payments on covered mortgage obligation, lease obligation, and utilities. Clarification from a representative of your business or organization that is authorized to certify that the documentation provides is true, and that the amount that is being forgiven was used in accordance with the program's guidelines. Okay. What happens after the forgiveness period? Any loan amounts not forgiven are carried forward as an ongoing loan with the maximum term of 10 years at the maximum interest rate of 4%. So principal and interest will continue to be deferred for a total of 6 months to a year after disbursement of the loan. The clock does not start again, okay? Can I get more than the PPP loan? Excuse me, no. An entity is limited to the PPP loan amount. Each loan will be registered under a taxpayer ID number at the Small Business Association to prevent multiple loans to the same entity. Where should I go to get a PPP loan from? All current SBA 7A lenders are eligible lenders for the PPP. The Department of Treasury will also be in charge of authorizing new lenders, including non-bank lenders, to help meet the needs of business owners. Let's see if I can just take a quick look here, give you an idea. No, that's not there. Okay, I'll go back. Let's see, what page was I on? Okay, this is it. Okay, so how does the PPP loan coordinate with SBA's existing loans? Borrowers must apply for the PPP loan and other SBA financial assistance, including economic injury disaster, also known as EIDLs, 7A loans, 504 loans, and microloans, and also receive investment capital from the Small Business Investment Corporation. However, you cannot use your PPP loan for the same purpose as your SBA loan. For example, if you use your PPP loan to cover payroll for the 8-week covered period, you cannot use a different SBA loan product for payroll for those same costs in that same period. Although you can use it for payroll not during that period or for different workers. So in other words, you can't double dip for the same reason, okay? How does the PPP loan work with the temporary emergency injury grant and the Small Business Debt Recovery Program? The recipients of those who receive loan payment relief from the Small Business Debt Relief Program may apply for and take out a PPP loan as long as there's no duplication in the use of funds. Refer to those sections for more information. So again, okay. The Small Business Debt Relief Program. This program will provide immediate relief to small businesses with non-disaster SBA loans, particular 7A and 504 and microloans. Under it, the SBA will cover all loan payments, and these SBA loans, including principal, interest, and fees for 6 months. The relief will also be available to new borrowers who take out loans within 6 months of the president signing into law the bill. Which SBA loans are eligible for debt relief under this program? 7A loans not made under the Paycheck Protection Act, 501(4) loans, and microloans, disaster loans, and microloans. Disaster loans are not eligible. Okay. How does debt relief under this program work with the PPP loan? Borrowers may separately apply for and take out a PPP loan, but debt relief under this program would not apply to the PPP loan. So again, you can take out 2 different loans, more than one, but certain rules apply. I explained a little bit of it earlier. How do I know if I'm eligible for the 7A, 504, or microloan? In general, business must meet size standards based on the U.S. Based on the U.S., be able to repay and have a sound business purpose. To check whether your business is considered small, you would need your business 6-digit North American industry classification code. In other words, many of us refer to it as the NIAC code, and a 3-year average annual revenue. Each program has different requirements. Okay, so in other words, if you're a new startup or anything, these loans won't be eligible for you. What is a 7A loan and how do I apply? 7A loans are an affordable loan product of up to $5 million for borrowers who lack credit elsewhere and need access to versatile financing, providing short-term or long-term working capital and to purchase an existing business, refinance current business debt, or purchase furniture, fixtures, and supplies. In the program, banks share a portion of the risk of the loan with the SBA. There are many different types of 7A loans. So there's a site you can visit, and you can get this information later. We can get it to you to find the one that's best for you. You apply for a 7A loan with a bank or mission-based lender. SBA has a free referral service tool called Lender Match that can help you find a lender. So 7A loans seem like they're, depending on the qualifications, they seem like they might be a good match for a lot of small businesses out there with the help. What is a 504 loan and how do I apply? The 504 loan provides loans of up to $5.5 million to approved small businesses with long-term fixed rate financing used to acquire fixed assets for expansion and modernization. It is a good option if you need to purchase real estate, buildings, and machinery. You apply through a certified development company, which is a nonprofit corporation that promotes economic development. And the SBA, again, has a free referral service tool called Lender Match that can help you with that. So this is something where if you want to expand your business, maybe in a different community, I mean, you're not doing so bad now, but maybe you didn't have the funds to do it earlier, you can do it now. You may want to branch out. So it's something to look into if you want to go into a different community. And it may be necessary to move or restructure something in a different community because of what's going on now and what's happened recently. What is a microloan and how do I apply? Microloans provide up to $50,000 to help small businesses and certain nonprofits, childcare centers to start up and expand. The average microloan is about $13,000. These loans are delivered through mission-based lenders who are also able to provide business counseling. SBA has a free referral service again called Lender Match. Now, think about this. This might be something, let's say you lost your job doing this event that we've had the past couple of months, and the job isn't calling employees back. You may have a certain talent, such as a nonprofit for childcare, that you may be able to start up and do on your own because it's hard for you to find something else right now. This microloan program might be a perfect something for you to start up a practice or start up your business. This is something that somebody like me would look into, okay? I'm unfamiliar with SBA loans. Can anyone help me apply? The SBA itself has resource partners available to help guide you through the loan application process. You also have the Women's Business Center that you can look at, okay? Economic injury disaster loans and emergency economic injury grants. These grants provide an emergency advance of up to $10,000 to small businesses and private nonprofits harmed by the COVID-19. Let's see, are businesses and private nonprofits in my state eligible for the EIDL-related benefit? Yes, those suffering substantial economic injury in all 50 states, including the District of Columbia and the territories, may apply for the EIDL. What is the EIDL? They're lower interest loans of up to $2 million with principal and interest deferred at the administrator's discretion. They are available to pay for expenses that could have been met had the disaster not occurred. That includes payroll and other operating expenses. Who's eligible for these loans? Sole proprietorships with or without employees, independent contractors, cooperatives and employee-owned businesses, and tribal small businesses. Ladies and gentlemen on this call, I mean, this is a big advantage out here. There's a lot of us that are doing things like this, startups or whatever. Please look into something like this if you're interested. My nonprofit is a 501c3. Is it still eligible for that grant, the EIDL grant? Yes, if you're a private nonprofit with an effective ruling letter from the IRS granting tax exemption under the 501c, D, or E, and the Internal Revenue Code, or if you can provide satisfactory evidence from the state that the nonprofit business is doing business under state law. However, a recipient that is principally engaged in teaching, instructing, counseling, or indoctrinating religion or religious beliefs, whether in a religious or secular setting, or primarily engaged in political or lobbying activities, is not eligible to receive an IDL. And ladies and gentlemen, that's a basic example of separation of church and state, okay? If you are uncertain whether you qualify, please consult with legal counsel to determine whether your organization meets the criteria. Who is eligible for the Emergency Economic Injury Grant? Those eligible for an IDL and who have been in operation since January 31st, 2020, when the public health crisis was announced. Okay, I've got a few more minutes here. How long are the emergency economic grants available? They're available starting January 31st, 2020 to the end of this year, December 31st. The grants can be backdated if need be. If I get an EIDL, can I get the PPP loan? Whether you're already receiving the EIDL, which is unrelated to the COVID, or you receive a COVID-related EIDL or an emergency grant between January and June of this year, you may also apply for the PPP. How do I know if my business is a small business? You can visit the Small Business Association and they can tell you the different sizes on that. You will need your 6-digit industry code again to look at that. How do I apply for an economic injury disaster? Go to the disaster loan, sba.gov, or the SBA district office. Let's see here, I'm trying to cover this in the nick of time. Page 8, let's see here. I think that's pretty much it. If you like, many small business owners need a business counselor to help. So you can also get that from the Small Business Association Development Center that many of us in Cash Campaign can also make referrals to you for that. There's a lot of counseling and training on that. Let's see. Anything. So that's about it for me. There's a couple of minutes left if anybody had any questions.
Awesome. Well, Ron, this is Sue, and number one, really appreciate you taking the time and sharing this information. It has been very confusing for small business owners, and as we know, the information on the how-to and the, all the procedures to apply for these different loans have been changing throughout the time. So really appreciate you taking the time to clarify this for us and letting people know what are the different options that they have in regards to these loans and potential assistance from the SBA. One thing I will just share, as I also have a small business owner in my family, I was surprised that the SBA was so quick in getting back to my family member and in assistance. Any questions that were asked, just came through emails. So it was really a pleasant experience. So.
Yeah, that's good. That's good to know. I mean, I've had good experience, quite frankly, with the state of Maryland applying for things, that you figure you're going to wait a couple of weeks or maybe even a month or so. But we're a responsive state on a lot of things, I got to say.
And really supportive of our small business owners, whether it's a sole proprietor or a business that has 30 employees. So it's really great to have this content. Again, everyone, thank you for attending today. Ron, thank you so much for your
Thank you.
expertise. If anybody would like to check out the Cafe Montgomery MD, it's just cafemontgomerymd.org. So feel free to check out their website. And please join us for other webinars that are listed on Cash Academy. Hope everyone stays safe and have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, and good luck, everyone. Good luck if you're trying to do something, a practice or anything like that. Let us know how you work out. All right, take care.
Take care. Bye.